Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. So today I want to present on development of childhood occupation part 2 and part 3 followed by constraints of play by myself, Teacher Vigri. So as we talked before about development of childhood occupations from 0 to 2 years, we understand that occupation is just like us doing stuff, and this applies as well for children. So in this presentation, I would like to talk about between 2 to 5 years for child occupation, followed by 6 to 10 years, and then the last one will be conscious of play. So let's begin. So 2 to 5 years, we can see that we don't have functional play anymore, and there's no more sensory motor focuses with anymore because we are entering pre-operational stages, pre-operational stage, according to John Piaget, as 0 to 2 years are around sensory motor, just exploring and experiencing the enjoyment of sensory pleasures. But afterwards, 2 to 5 years and above, it's becoming more constructive. So symbolic play happens here. Plays out drama with stuffed toys. As you can see from the picture, that how this kid is entertained with the stuffed toys and do the drama like drinking. And constructive play includes participates in drawing and puzzles. They are becoming more engaging towards visual perception, such as drawing and puzzles. Gross motor play equals like jumping and rough and tumble play, which is we call it main kasar, but in a Penang way. But we play hard, involve mostly physical, like jumping and all that stuff. And then for social play, it's more towards associative parallel play, predominates around this 2 to 3 years. And then for performance skills, we can see for sensory organization, sorry, enjoys interesting tactile textures. As we as we discover around 0 to 2 years, right? They have enjoyed the sensory pleasures and around sensory motor, but around pre-operational, it's becoming more intense, interesting tactile textures such as slime, therapy, play-doh, anything that different textures when it comes to touching. And then fine motor would be snips with scissors. Around this, they have developed uh, tripod pinch when using scissors to snips. And gross motor, it begins to hop with one foot because at first they jump, but this time this is more focusing on one foot to hop. And then for cognitive, we can see combine actions into entire play scenario, such as you can see actions in entire play scenario. For example, that what action I need to do. Oh, okay. At first, the doll wakes up, and then afterwards, the doll walks to the bathroom to wash face and all that, and get ready to go to school. That's the combine actions into entire play scenario. We can see, for example, in the picture, right? The kid is feeding the toy with drinking. Okay, let's drink, and then afterwards we need to do something to do with reality that what they experience. And then the social part will be cooperative play. So they have developed need to take turn to play. Even in around pre-operational, they are most likely towards egocentric thinking. But around here, they develop to understand that they need to take turn in order to play cooperative play. And then next is 3 to 4 years, which is uh, quite a huge leap. You can see the symbolic play. They have create script for play in which the written objects have action that reflect roles in real or imaginary life. For example, they have create script. Contoh, we can use an example for, let's say, main kawin-kawin, something like that. So they have created script. Okay, I'm the father, you're the mother, you're the child. um, or this object is for us when we married and all that stuff. As an example, symbolic play. It has something to do with roles in the real life. And then constructive play works puzzle and also blocks. Enjoy around, and this is rough and tumble play developed from 2 to 3 years. Is that this time they enjoy physical play, push push, pulling, swinging, jumping, and so on. And social play includes associative play, plays with children, sharing and talking about play goal, which is contoh, kita main hide and seek. What are the goals here to find the culprit, right? So that's the example of it. Uh, and then the performance skills, you can see that fine motor, they have started to use precision, meaning the tripod graph has become more precise towards Spencer, and then gross motor alternates feet walking upstairs. Before this, they tend to one step and then another one step, and 2 feet at one step. But now it's just one, and one, and one. And then cognitive performance skills includes mixed dolls and action figures, carry out roles, and interact with other toys. For example, let's say I use this example. Okay, this toy is the doctor and this toy is the patient. Oh yeah, hello, welcome to the clinic. How can I help you? As that interact with the other toys. And then the social is a preferred same-sex playmates, which means that boys want to play with another boy and girl want to play with another girl. Then when it comes to 4 to 5 years, play occupation become more interesting. There's games with rules because before this we talked about symbolic play, right? But this time we can see there's a change. There's a rule we need to understand in order to play. There's a rule, which is reflect our occupation in the real world. For example, even in working area, there's also rules to follow, right? So begins group games with simple rules. So for example, play hide and seek. Okay, we take the same example. What are the rules? Okay, need to close eye properly, count 1 to 10, and so on and so on. This is the simple rules lah. And then constructive play includes take pride in product. For example, they have created something from Lego, and they say, look, I did this and all that. So that's an example. And then social play, dramatic play includes participate dress up. You can see they are dressed up as a princess or a witch, for example. When it comes to performance skills, right, for 4 to 5 years, you can see that fine motor. Last time they precisely use tripod on pencil. Now they can colors within the line, and then the gross motor throws ball and hits target. So the hand manipulation and wrist manipulation is getting better. And then cognitive, understand rules to a game. So example, like I said before, play hide and seek. That simple rules, then they can finally understand the rules. And then the last but not least, social, sings whole songs. And then the next will be 5 to 10 years, which is very interesting because there's also a leap of changes of development in terms of child occupation. Let's start with 5 to 6 years, which is we can see that games with rules, they have become more interested with board games such as Monopoly, Dominoes, and as chess, for example. And then dramatic play includes elaborate imaginary play because the last time we understand they already know the roles, and then to put it on a pretend object. Now they need to elaborate imaginary play. Like, okay, let's set it into a different setting. The setting will be in a early year of life, for example, when it comes to dramatic play. And then sports, they have become more interested to participate in ball play such as football or netball, etc., etc. A simple one. And then social play would be goal of play, winning may compete with social interaction at times because at this point, they have developed that they need to win when it comes to games, right? Which is very interesting. So like they need to compete with others. There's also a social interaction involved there. So it's like, oh, I want to win this. I'm gonna compete you. That's an example of it. Performance skill includes, you can see that completes puzzle up to 20 pieces. Before this, around 0 to 2 is around 2 to 3 or 4 pieces, but now it's developed into 20 up to 20 pieces. And then gross motor includes kicks with accuracy. Before last time, right? Because when they kick, they just kick it for fun. That's the exploration. But now they kick with accuracy. They need to hit the target or the specific target. And the cognitive will be reasoned through simple problem. For example, let's say why did you do that? So dia bagi reason in a very simple macam, oh, because I thought this is supposed to be this, as an example of it. And the social will be has friends because before this they just want prefer same sex playmates, but now they have developed friendship with them, which is part of the social interaction throughout the play and performance skills. And this is the most interesting part. 6 to 10 years play occupation includes game with rules. They have developed playing with computer games, card games that require problem solving and abstract thinking. So as you can see that pre-operational stops at 7 years, and now they have overcoming uh, centration, which is centration, and also uh, egocentrical thinking, which is to tend to see it from one viewpoint. But now with understanding rules and all that while playing games, right, they have developed different perspectives to understand a whole scenario. So gaming rules, abstract thinking, around 6 to 7 is still pre-operational, but seven and above is include uh, concrete operational. Because so it's involving more towards abstract thinking. And then crafts and hobbies include may have hobbies. For example, they like to collect stamps. It's a hobby. And then organized sports. Last time the sports just to play for fun, but nowadays more organized, more rules, and more emphasize towards winning and skills. And then socially good peer play because we have friends, so why not we play together with friends, right? So predominant at school and home. Performance skills, you can see fine motor, bilateral coordination for building complex structures. For example, we want to build a tall building. Bilateral coordination is necessary using two hands, one hand do this and all that, and then manipulate the objects and all, etc. Becoming better. Gross motor equal runs with speed and endurance because last time they just run. There's no speed and there's no endurance, but now they can test their muscles. And cognitive will be abstract reasoning because we are almost entering into concrete operational where abstract reasoning is developing, for example, mathematical reasoning. That's an example of it. And social will be cooperative, less egocentric because last time was still egocentric due to the pre-operation stage, but they have developed understanding rules and the abstract reasoning of the world, so they become less egocentric, seeing in the different points of view. And next, we want to talk about constraint to play because here's the thing. This is an interesting part because nobody ever mentioned about these parts, especially when it comes to people who suffer from disabilities. I don't want to say suffer, more like people who diagnosed with disabilities, where there's a constraint when it comes to play. So, effects of disability and play behavior, we can see that it does limit physical interaction with the environment, especially with toys and other objects. For example, if we have a disability physical, how can we ever develop a better fine motor touching the objects and also to manipulate it in the hand, grasping and voluntary release? And then when it comes to physical impairment, you can see that it does affect towards manipulating object as I mentioned before, lack of physical strength or to grasp and all that stuff. Because most of the toys and play need physical interactions. We need to touch the toys to experience, to sense it and all that. But does this give constraints for them to play? Yes. So another would be in terms of cognitive impairment, delay or uneven skills, and lack of sustained attention. Because of the cognitive impairment, right? When it comes to play games and all that, it needs attention that can able to sustain for a very long time. What if there's a lack of sustained attention? We tend to, I don't know, it does it creates a not so playfully play, if that's the right word, more like macam we cannot enjoy the game because we attentions are as elsewhere but not in towards game. And hence sensory impairments is the biggest part. Decrease imitative and role play because if they have issue with sensory, right, how can they even imitate the reality of the real world? For example, being a doctor, how can they even imitate doctor? How can they even cut through fruit toys, for example, and role play, and that's for visual. And then hearing would be decreased social interaction because of the hearing impairment. So I cannot hear you much. So how can I able to communicate with you and then playing together? And it does create loneliness for the children because of that. So, but yeah, because this is why this is the most important thing for people to understand that with intervention, it helps a lot towards to help them to get into their play skills back because it is very important for their development. We want them to develop better despite the disability. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you again.